Hello, my name is Andrew Umdahl, and today my proposition is how you can get a wind turbine on your property. I plan to cover three main points. The first point being who you should contact and the process they go through. The second point being the location of your property that you want your wind turbine to be built on. And the third main point is the construction of the wind turbine. With that being said, wind turbines are built easier than you may think. In the process of building a wind turbine, you want to contact a wind developer. If you are a social person in your community, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to reach out to your neighbors and other people that may live close to the property that your wind turbine is going to be built on to make sure that everyone is okay with a clean, friendly energy. These wind developers, though, as I was talking about, they go through a variety of steps when it comes to building a wind turbine on your property. They get their wind turbines from the manufacturers. These are the wind turbines that they will build on your property eventually. They pay you to have these on your property anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 per wind turbine, according to windustry.org. Although most of the time the wind developers will come to you if they see a location that is fit for a wind turbine, but it is not unheard of for you to contact them first and reach out to them and tell them that you're interested in having a wind turbine be built on your property. Location is key when it comes to building a wind turbine. Most of the time, these wind developers will come out and look to see if your piece of land is close to transmission lines that will carry the excess energy from the wind turbine to a distribution company. If there are no transmission lines close or nearby, the wind developers have a hard time making money because the energy doesn't go anywhere really. It just doesn't go anywhere. So they really want to look for spots that have wind they want to find spots for their wind turbines where there are transmission lines. Another important factor when it comes to location is you don't want trees or buildings that will change the direction of the wind according to GAIA wind in their September of 2009 article. They state that the trees and buildings can cause turbulence, which is this is caused when the wind changes directions. And if your wind turbine is close to these trees or buildings, the turbulence that comes from the misdirected wind hits the wind turbine and over time can damage it, and you just don't want a broken down turbine on your property. We Energies discuss in their book titled Developing and Constructing Wind Energy the steps of building a wind turbine. There are a lot of steps, small steps, that are very important to building a wind turbine, I have noticed. For instance, this first one isn't really a big, it doesn't really help the wind turbine at all, but it has to be done in order to get it built. You have to have a road built in your road or in your pasture or field to ensure that these big equipment that is coming in there to erect the wind turbine won't sink down into the soil and get stuck and just cause problems. So gravel is brought in and they make a little road out to the building site. The next step in building a wind turbine is they knife in the cables and wires that will carry the energy to the transmission lines that will then carry the energy to the distribution company. These cables and wires have to be at a minimum of 4 feet into the ground so farmers don't hit these cables and wires with their implements on their tractors. After this is done, the cables are laid, you have to begin dirt work for the base of the wind turbine. You have to dig out a pretty large hole so the base can fit in there, or you can pour cement in there for the base to be built. The base has to be pretty big because it holds all of the weight of the wind turbine. Once the base is built, you move the dirt back in around it so you can actually farm pretty close up to the edge of the base. Even though there may be cement underground, you still won't have to worry about running into it with your equipment on your tractors, or your cows won't be affected by the cement under the ground. But once the base is built, you can then begin putting elements of the energy. The energy module is what it's called. That goes on first onto the base because the wind turbine tower encases it on. It goes right over top of it, and you can't fit it through the manhole because it's a pretty large part. So once the 212-foot tower is on the base, it is then time to put the nacelle on top of the tower. The nacelle houses the generator that creates the energy. In order for this generator to turn, you have to put the blades on, and this is the final step. You put the blades on with these huge cranes, and once the blades are attached, you can get back to farming and having your cattle out there and just enjoying life. After hearing why you should have a wind turbine on your property in my last speech, I hope you now know how and where you can put your wind turbines. Building a wind turbine is easier than you may think. The wind turbine will benefit you for a very long time, and hopefully you can make a little extra cash as well. Thank you for watching.